To the president's tweet, which we mentioned earlier. It ties together the school shooting and the Russia investigation. Even by Trumpian standards, this one was provocative.
Yeah, ABC's Kenneth Moten is in West Palm Beach near Mar-a-Lago covering the tweet, the reaction, and the latest in the investigation. Kenneth, good morning to you.
Good morning, Paula and Dan. President Trump is just 40 miles away from Parkland right now at his Mar-a-Lago resort. He took one of the worst and deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history and connected it with his ongoing issues with the Russia investigation. Overnight, President Trump blasted the FBI over the Florida school shooting and the Russia investigation, tweeting, "Very sad that the FBI missed all the many signals sent out by the Florida school shooter. This is not acceptable. They are spending too much time trying to prove Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. There is no collusion." The president also attacked media coverage of the special counsel's indictment of 13 Russians for alleged interference in the 2016 election. The president, who now appears to believe in the investigation, is focused more on when the Russians allegedly started meddling. Trump tweeting, "Funny how the fake news media doesn't want to say that the Russian group was formed in 2014, long before my run for president. Maybe they knew I was going to run, even though I didn't know." The indicted Russians accused of spreading fake news on fake social media accounts and infiltrating the American political process. By summer 2016, investigators say the goal to disparage Hillary Clinton and support Donald Trump. In an interview set to air Monday, the vice president responded.
There's no question that Russia sought to interfere, perhaps with other countries, in our electoral process, and it's absolutely essential that we take action.
Top Trump administration officials now calling out Russia.
With the FBI indictment, the evidence is now really incontrovertible.
Trump appeared to criticize that comment from his own national security advisor. Tweeting overnight, General McMaster forgot to say that the results of the 2016 election were not impacted or changed by the Russians. The special counsel's indictment doesn't mention an allegation of collusion between the Russians and the Trump campaign, but the latest charges are just one piece of a broader Mueller investigation. The special counsel is also looking into that 2016 Trump Tower meeting with campaign officials and a Russian lawyer. And there's a possible obstruction of justice investigation. Dan and Paula?
Yeah, the investigation is to be continued. All right, Kenneth, thank you for your reporting from Florida. And political analyst Matthew Dowd joins us from Texas this morning. Matt, good morning to you. And let's jump right in and talk about that tweet with Trump calling out the FBI for missing the many warning signs of the Florida gunman. And Matt, considering the FBI has publicly admitted that they dropped the ball here, is the president's tweet smart politics?
I think it's not smart politics. One, it's not smart politics. Two, it undermines the premier law enforcement agency when we absolutely need them. These are 35,000 employees. But three, I think more importantly, at a time we need moral leadership and some sense of empathy in the country, the president can't seem to get out of making excuses for things that happen in his own world and his own political campaign. I think the president would be smart to channel the moral voices of the 15 and 16-year-olds that have spoken out in Florida on this, because those people are going to be voters in 2020. So he'd be much better off having some moral voice, which he seems incapable of doing in this moment, than figuring out a way to blame somebody else for something going on in his world.
Matt, on the Russia story, we heard in Kenneth's piece, both the vice president and the national security advisor, H.R. McMaster, are now saying there's unequivocal evidence that Russia meddled in our politics. Do you think this is going to force Trump to say the same and perhaps more importantly, to take some sort of action here?
Well, there's totally inconsistent messages, again, coming out of this White House, which seems the only consistent thing is inconsistency in this. You have a White House spokesperson yesterday who basically pointed the finger at the media and Democrats more than the Russians for what went on. Here's what we know, Paula and Dan. We know, one, the election in 2016 was decided by a few thousand votes. We know, two, that the Russians massively interfered in that election. Three, we know that communications and campaigns matter, so it probably had some effect on voters. And four, I think what the president is feeling, which he should, is there's some question on the validity of election with all those facts in play. I think that's the facts as we know them. Whether it overturned the election, he needs to confront the fact that there was an election that the Russians interfered with and speak out on it.
And we're now heading into a situation where everybody in the national security world is saying they're doing it again. They're still doing it. And we have midterms coming up in 2018.
Yep, we certainly do. All right, Matt, thanks for your analysis from Texas this morning. Appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.